Greetings, everyone. Good afternoon. I hope everyone had a great morning and woke up on the right side of the bed and ready to achieve their plan and goals for today. You have 24 hours in a day. You cannot achieve at least some of your goals. I don't know what else to tell you. But greetings. Good afternoon. My name is Shynna Key. I am the financial fanatic. I am the author of the book, Wealth is a Mindset. I wanted to give you some insights of my book. So I decided to go live, read a couple of chapters of my book, and give you an opportunity to ask questions. So welcome to my live reading of Wealth is a Mindset in Q&A. By the way, this book can be found on Amazon.com and ShynaKey.com. And if you're in the Atlanta area, the Madu Bookstore in the Greenbrier Mall and other retailers are coming soon. Okay, so we're going to start off. Going to read a couple of chapters, and we're going to save the Q&A for afterwards. But if you have any questions, feel free to type them in over there in the corner. Hello, Rachel. Thank you for joining me. Okay, this is also a recorded session, so I wanted to let you be aware of that as well. So feel free to ask me questions. Make sure you click on the screen there. They give me hands up for great content and the reading of my book live. Okay, so we're going to go to chapter 1. Now, chapter 1 here. Chapter 1, love my chapter 1, love all the chapters. So we're going to go to chapter 1. And if you have the book, feel free to turn to chapter 1. Chapter 1 is called The Rich Stay Rich and the Poor Stay Poor. Chapter 1. So if you have the book, go ahead, tune in. Go to your chapter 1. The rich stay rich and the poor stay poor. Hello. Hi, Lover Grace. Thank you for joining. I am going to be peeping back up at the screen. Make sure I don't miss any greetings coming in. So here we go. And after I read the chapter 1, you can go ahead and type your questions as I'm reading. But when I finish chapter 1, I will go ahead and look over to the corner and answer any questions. So here we go. And don't forget to give me high fives. Click on the screen there. Let me know that you are enjoying the reading and keep me going. Thank you. Chapter 1, the rich stay rich and the poor stay poor. Wealth that is passed down from generation to generation is called generational wealth. The inheritance of money, businesses, homes, vehicles, land, assets, and investments are all examples of generational wealth. Fortunately, some are born into wealth, which is a fabulous thing. When people are born into wealth, they are taught differently. From birth, they were taught what to do and how to carry on with their financial status. Therefore, they had different views and values about life and money. However, if the rich don't do as they were taught as it relates to their finances, they can and will eventually go broke. They have to make the conscious decision to continue their wealthy legacy. Unlike the rich, there are those that were not born with the silver spoon in their mouths, which society classifies as middle class, which is the new poor. Yet, that does not mean that they have to be or stay a product of their environment. The poor/middle class has to have the desire to want a different financial status. Therefore, they have to become disciplined and strive for success towards financial freedom. In the words of Curtis Jackson, aka 50 Cent, get rich or die trying. In my words, Don't sit like a lump on a log and don't do anything. Now, I'm not saying to greed for money. I'm saying make a difference for your generation. As a child, my family was considered the high-end middle class. Some back then considered us rich or referred to us as the Huxtables from the hit Cosby Show. I don't know if I should be, making that relevant right now, considering what's going on with Cosby, but nevertheless, okay, that was off the record. But my dad, Larry McCown, who is now deceased, worked at an airplane plant for many years. My mom, Helen McCown, she worked for the School Board of Education. Both of their jobs was considered great jobs. However, my father wanted and felt that he needed more to be able to live the life he desired. He always enjoyed driving luxury cars, switching them up, or at times just adding to his collection. He also dressed on a high-end designer scale. But most of all, my dad knew that he wanted to be his own boss. So he set his sights on becoming a nightclub owner. Once he devised his plan and took action, he successfully opened his first nightclub, Larry's Lounge in New Haven, Connecticut. When he bought the nightclub, his strategic plan also included 2 apartment units just above, which he planned to rent for additional income. There goes that multiple streams of income. There go that passive income. This wealth building tactic is considered multiple streams of income as well as passive income. The rental properties were considered passive income because if he made money off of them in his sleep, that's why it was considered passive income. So my dad did not need to lift a finger to generate that money. He made it while he was asleep. Okay, that's passive income. And now he has multiple streams of income because now he has the nightclub and the rental properties above. Okay, the passive income also afforded our family the freedom to take vacations and other luxuries without my father overworking himself. This is what I believe sparked my interest in real estate. I can remember as a young woman, I would watch my parents manage and sometimes even help them with minor touch-ups or repairs when a tenant would move out. My dad was a smart businessman. He had an accountant come over every Saturday to go over the books. Being the wise man that he was, he would also have his children around to watch how things worked, being your own boss. All in one, I can honestly say he really instilled great entrepreneurship qualities and lessons within us. He gave my brother Larry the DJ position, aka DJ Shynna B, during happy hour because he was the oldest. He also gave me my little sister Shynna little odd jobs on a weekend to help with putting up the deliveries items such as candy bars and stuff. Now, of course, I always got my Snicker bar out of the deal every time. Those were my favorite. Overall, my dad did many things just to teach us about running our own business. That's how I became such a phenomenal entrepreneur today. Friends will always ask me, how do I do it? Generally, my response is, well, everyone is not an entrepreneur. I was raised that way. I woke up like that. No, just kidding. But I was raised that way, brought up around business-minded parents. So I guess it's true, as the old saying goes, an apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. Meaning teach your children because they are definitely watching and learning from you. Pass on your knowledge about wealth. Once you have realized your vision of wealth and have educated yourself on the road to getting there in this just getting by generation, it is important that you pass down your wealth of knowledge to help educate others. Otherwise, we will continue to risk of creating generation after generation of individuals who are barely making it or living check to check. I can go on and on, but I'm absolutely certain that you have heard all of this before. Why not take heed and wake up? However, you must admit, if you are or keep hearing the same old sayings over and over again, they must apply to you, or maybe some truth to it. Take responsibility and be wise. Be wise and take responsibility for your financial education, your spending and wealth planning decisions. Now, you can't blame your parents for not being brought into this world without a silver spoon because they can't help what they didn't know. Debt, work hard, love, and family bonds may in fact be the only thing that were passed down to them. This is why I'm so passionate about encouraging you to make a change within your current generation. In other words, don't live beyond your means. Consciously consider the difference between the look of material wealth and true financial freedom. There is a big difference. I often hear individuals make fun of what someone else is wearing. If it isn't the newest style, or if someone's shoes are considered to be ran down, in most cases, I can almost guarantee that that person that's being talked about has money in the bank and assets. Generally, a person that seeks to have financial freedom is more interested or concerned about their banking and their savings, the way their banking and checkings is set up. In my Kevin Hart voice, my checking and my savings. Okay, sorry. Okay, versus on how they look. So sacrificing that high-priced designer handbag or overpriced shoes is not a big deal to them. In this text, I wrote some very common sayings in a rudimentary fashion so that the words cannot be misinterpreted. In other words, some things you don't know can hinder your financial freedom. Though you may be rich at heart and mind, I encourage all who reads this book to consciously consider the difference between the look of material wealth versus the realness of financial freedom, to make necessary sacrifices and take the leap of faith by gaining a true mindset of wealth so that you can become and stay rich. Remember, having the lack of knowledge about finances will leave you in the blind and behind forever. That is chapter 1 of Wealth is a Mindset. And let me tell you the keys, tips, and tricks of the end of that chapter. Keys, tips, and tricks for that chapter is don't try to keep up with the Joneses by buying all the hottest and newest trends. You don't know what struggles the Joneses had to get them to look at that. Stop making clothing lines, shoe designers, and car manufacturers more rich. They're already wealthy. Find a way to build your wealth for yourself. Manage your checking and savings account daily, weekly. Don't be afraid to look at it. If you don't look at it, how will you know? So if you're afraid to look at it, it's something that's wrong. I want you to have a better relationship with your finances. Remember, it's different strokes for different folks. Those are my keys, tips, and tricks for chapter 1, The Rich Stay Rich and the Poor Stay Poor. This book can be found, Wealth is a Mindset. This book can be found on Amazon.com or on ShynnaKey.com, or if you're in the Atlanta area, again, at the Madu Bookstore in the Greenbrier Mall. More retailers will be picking up the book soon, so you can get your copy. Again, my favorite words is just because you're not born with a silver spoon in your mouth does not mean you cannot get one. Shynna Key, I am empowering you to build your empire always. Now, if we have any questions, I am going to open up the Q&A. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Much gratitude. I hope you guys shared this on Twitter with the little birdies. Let them know that we were on live. I'm doing a live reading of Wealth is a Mindset and a Q&A with your author, Shynna Key. So now I am opening up the Q&A session. If you guys have any questions about Chapter 1, Wealth is a Mindset, type it. Let me know. I'm here to answer any questions. If you need me to go back on a certain part of that chapter, I will certainly do so. Any questions? Q&A is open. Let me tweet that. Tell the little birdies that we are now done with the reading of Chapter 1. Now done with Chapter 1. And the Q&A is now open. Okay. Go ahead and tweet that. Get that out there. Thank you. Oh, okay. Thank you, Jan. I actually see that you shared it on Twitter there. Thank you for sharing. Let's see. Q&A. Okay. Send that tweet out there. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Sabrina, Alex, everyone. Thank you for joining me. We just went over Chapter 1 of Wealth is a Mindset. We are now going into the Q&A of the chapter, and you can also go back and replay this session as well. For everyone that has been on and went through Chapter 1 with me, if you would like me to go ahead and extend the live reading and go on into Chapter 2 now, let me get some clicks on the screen. Give me some hands up. And thank you for retweeting that for me. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Go ahead. I want to see hands up. Give me some hands. If you'd like me to go on to Chapter 2, I will extend that for this session. Let me see number of hands go up. Everyone, thank you. Thank you. Anyone else? Guys want me to keep going Chapter 2? Let me see the hands go up. I need to see the hands. Let me see. Does everyone hear me okay? I'm still looking good on the screen, not frozen or anything, am I? Let me see. Let me see. Hands go up for Chapter 2. Thank you. Okay. I know sometimes on Blab, we tend to freeze up, sound, can't hear us sometimes. That Blab, the Blab industry thing is growing big. So I know, I just wanted to check in, make sure everyone can still hear me and see me okay. All right. So I'm seeing the hands go up. So, okay. Thank you. That gave me the green light to go ahead and continue on to Chapter 2. Thank you. Okay, Chapter 2. The wake-up call. What is it going to take for you to wake up and address your financial status? A tragedy, job loss, and unable to collect unemployment, or your business shut down? Let the wake-up call be now while you're reading this book. Set goals, take action, take charge, and take notes. Set goals, take action, take charge, and take notes to be successful in building and maintaining your empire. If you do not know where you are going, how will you know when you get there? That's a question for you. So make sure you're setting your goals, okay? Because if you don't know where you're going, how would you know when you get there? Take that. Make sure you guys make a note of that one there. When an engineer creates a huge skyloft building, do you think they will start the job without a blueprint? No, they have a blueprint. Goal setting. Absolutely not. So why would you decide to build your empire without goals? Which brings me to the topic of goal setting. Overall, your wealth depends on your ability to set and carry out your goals. There are many different types of goals, which are generally self-defined. Therefore, it is your decision to figure out which areas are most important for you to direct your focus. As a general rule of thumb, when I start my goal setting, I begin with my short-term goals, which once accomplished ultimately helps me gain confidence to set and achieve my long-term goals. Gets me going and going and going, such as seeing those hands go up. Let me know you're enjoying this reading. Okay. Creating short-term and long-term goals. As we set our personal and financial goals, we have to be mindful of taking a realistic approach. Oftentimes, we tend to set goals that require long-term planning, expecting to accomplish them in only a short time. This can ultimately set us up for failure and may affect how we go about our future goal settings and roadmap. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying to limit your goal objectives, but moreover, just to be aware of the time, resources, and network that it will take in order to reach your desired results. Small, realistic goals may be things that you would like to accomplish within 5 years or less. 5 years or less, that's short-term goals. Okay? While long-term goals may take longer and give you something to look forward to, short-term goals help you to empower you and give you the sense of self-gratification and the confidence that you will need to stay on target. Your short-term goals should be daily, weekly, monthly, and should bring you closer to your long-term goals. Okay, let me pause there. I have a question over here. Yes. Okay, yes, absolutely. I can do it that style as well. Okay, so to take notes, short-term goals, those are goals that can be reached within 5 years or less. So they can be weekly, monthly, and make sure you check up on your short-term goals on a regular basis. And make sure you check them off as you reach them, celebrate them as you reach them, so it can give you the warm feeling for you to continue on. The wonderful feeling of success feeds you even more to carry on. Okay? In the end of your life, okay, in the end, your life should reflect the goals that you have chosen to pursue, helping you maximize your potential and satisfy your positive instincts, okay? Whether you have set a goal to buy a car, go to college, start investing, buy a home, or start a business, you have to think about sacrifices that you will need to make in order to make the goal become tangible reality, okay? So make sure you're serving your purpose of life, fulfilling your goals. Make sure your goals are realistic and not considered, well, I'm not going to say impossible because there's nothing that is impossible, but make sure you're setting realistic goals within the time frame that can be reached within 5 years. Okay, make sure you have a vision board, I would say, so you can see it every day. If you're at your office, you have a small board up so you can see it at your office, so you can remember every day. These are the things that you are working towards. Okay, visualization helps you see your plan to a wealthy and clear vision. Okay, visualize. Visionary, I call it. I have visionary apparel on my website that says wealth is a mindset. I have wealth is a mindset throw pillows Wealth is a mindset coffee mugs to remind me every day, like to recondition my mind. It's all about the mindset, what you take in, what you feed yourself. It's all about your mindset. Okay. Let me go back to the book here just to go over it. Generally, in every success situation, there has to be a vision of what success actually looks like. So first, we must examine ourselves to find out what inner materials we have and what elements are necessary to construct our success framework. So go over yourself, look at yourself, see what needs to be worked on. Your wealth blueprint should highlight various angles, parallel references, and tactics that will guide you in the direction of change. Of course, designing your wealth blueprint will take time. However, the planning period will prove to be time well spent in the long run. Make a vision board, also known as dream board. Vision boards are created for you to get excited about your life visions. Do you remember when you were in first grade and creating seemed to be fun? Well, revisit that time in your life by reenacting those emotions. Act like a big kid, have fun, enjoying cutting out things that you want to manifest in your life. Think about what you really would like to do, then just go for it. Place your vision board again at home where you can see it all the time. Also, make a mini one again so that you can place it at your job or business. Once I have written down a clear statement of my goals and I have created my vision board, it is then that I take necessary steps toward accomplishments, consequently committing myself to successful conclusion to building my empire. Now, let me tell you, I have about 3 vision boards. I have fun making them. It reminds me, besides my checklist and looking at the other vision board, I may have already completed those visions. So now on this new vision board that I made, that vision is no longer on there because that one is marked off. I celebrated that journey of completing that goal. So yes, it's okay to have more than one vision board. You can never have too many visions, but you must work on them so they can be completed. That is the goal. Goal setting. The meaning of goal setting is to complete the goal. Okay. Journalizing your journey of success. While going through my financial trials and errors and overcoming obstacles within my journey, I found my journey to be one of the most effective tools in helping me to keep my goal incentives in perspective. Funny, but as I made the decision to write this book, I was tumbling through some of my old journal notes and ran across some of my documented goals. Of course, I am at awe today here in 2015, actually living the reality of my dreams as a financial business empowerment coach, prominent businesswoman, author, and speaker. Throughout the journey, I can honestly admit that by writing and revisiting my journal notes, I became more in tune with my thought process, which has helped me to put together a more substantial plan to achieving my success. Plan for the best and prepare for the worst. Make sure you make a note of that. You have to look at it like that sometimes. You know, some people say, I live for the moment. Don't live for the moment. That's living on an edge. Just plan for the best and prepare for the worst. Okay, have a plan B, backup plan. Okay. When I worked in the mortgage industry with the Georgia program that helped homeowners save their home, I read through so many sad letters, so many, on how people suddenly lost their job, became ill, or lost a spouse due to death or separation or divorce. Life at times catches you by surprise. Beat the surprise to the punches. Be prepared. For each hardship letter that I read, I thank God for my health, roof over my head, my job, my family, and for the insight to think ahead. Create emergency fund to be able to pay your bills for up to 6 months. So let me stop right there. Emergency fund. Emergency fund supposed to be able to cover your bills for 6 months, up to 6 months. Some people say 8, but 6 months at least. Have money put aside to cover your bills. So you want to go ahead, start today. Go over your bills so you can have an idea how much your monthly bills are and get to saving. Put that emergency fund aside for 6 months to cover all your bills for 6 months in case anything happens. That is your emergency fund. So make a note of that. 6 month emergency fund consists of money to pay all your bills for up to 6 months in case anything happens to your job or your house. Okay? Make sure you take advantage of short-term and long-term disability if your job offers it. Okay? If not, purchase a plan outside your job. Build a relationship with your car insurance agent. Most big major car insurance companies sell different types of policies such as renters, homeowners insurance, life, and just to name a few. And speaking of that, I just want to throw that out there. Now, life insurance policies, there's policies out there that give you benefits while you're living. They're not just all for, when we die, leave this earth. There are life policies that give you benefits while you're living, okay? So go ahead. Hope you got a great relationship with your agent and talk to them, okay? If you need some resources or any people to contact in regards to insurances and things like that, you can DM me, message me off the record, or you can even ask me here and I'll throw a couple of names out there, just to name a few, okay? Now, budgeting helps you separate your needs versus wants. Now, before I go into that little phrase there, budgeting is the difference between needs and wants. Make sure you are teaching your children this early on. Let them know when you're out in the store shopping or your kids are asking for things, not saying that you will say no, because if it turns out to not to be a need, that you won't get it. And just to remind you guys, hit the screen there, give me some hands up. I love to see hands. I see a few going. Let me know that you are enjoying the read. And again, questions, I invite you guys to interact with me, ask questions. This is a Q&A session as well. Okay, I know someone asked me to kind of talk through while I'm reading the chapter. And I hope, is that going okay for you? Doing it that style, that kind of helps you out. Make sure I stop for you guys to take notes as well. Okay. All right. So make sure you are teaching your children early on about the difference between needs and wants. So if they're asking, oh, mommy, I see these new shoes come out. Can I get them? Can I get them? Could you get them for me? Just ask them, well, and you have a pair of shoes on your feet now. Let me look at them. There's no holes in them. They're not ran down. Son, daughter, is this a need or a want? Do you need new shoes or do you just want some new shoes? Have them answer that question. Just get them in the habit of being able to determine their needs versus their wants. Get them ready for the real world out there, because when they start working or starting their own business, it takes the first 5 years within creating a business for your revenue to really start kicking in. So get some reprogram, start conditioning their mindset to realizing they want and needs. We definitely will want them to know that you must pay your light bill first before you go out and get some shoes. Don't go buy the new shoes just because you want them and your light bill is due, okay? So that is that versus needs versus wants, okay? That will help them, teach them about sacrificing as well if need be. So, okay? So, budget your finances and reach higher. To properly budget your finances, you must first be real with yourself as it relates to your income as well as your expenses. Successful budgeting also depends on your willingness to make sacrifices. Through sacrifice is not always easy. It helps to give you a full view of those things that may cause your finances to flourish or suffer. When someone makes a sacrifice, it is always easy for something else. Are you willing to now take the sacrifice to get to the next level that awaits you? Sit down as a family to establish your living necessities and your wants. Then make a conscious effort to sacrifice to watch your financial life grow. If you are single, the same method applies. Now let me stop right there. Sit down with your family. Go over the necessities of your family. There's different strokes for different folks. Do not look at anyone else's family or their lifestyle. And I say do this whether you're single or not, because if you're planning on to starting a family soon, you want to have a head start. You want to have yourself in order before you actually go into, creating a family. So it won't be so much, stress on the area of getting everything together for your family. Okay. Becoming financially stable before you enter into a relationship helps you to plan for your future and eliminate most financial strains or stress that you hear all the time about financial stress in relationships. So before you enter into one, oh, I wish I was in a relationship. Oh, I can't wait till the right man comes along or right woman comes along. Make sure you're straight before they even come along, okay? So you guys can focus on enjoying each other and not have the stress over finances, okay? You will be able to focus on building a fantastic life together by doing that without worrying about money. Funny, but I have a friend who is committed to budgeting for years, okay? I watched her do her due diligence and how she would spend her money. Most people thought she was just being cheap. I was guilty of that. All the while, she was just being smart about her money and her future financial status. When we would go hang out sometimes on a weekend, she would carpool to save money on parking and rush to get wherever we would go before the venue would start charging a fee. Okay? One of our mutual friends and I would gripe about it, telling her that if we went to the place too early, the place will be empty. We would try to discourage her for wanting to get there early. We wanted to be the grand entrance and things like that. But of course, her being a strong-minded woman, she didn't care what we said. She carried on with her thoughts. And I must say today, I believe she is still financially, secure. She did a good job. And now as I write this book and look back, I say kudos to her. And I say, way to go. She did a great job. She didn't let the peer pressure, the saying, YOLO, you only live once, affect her thoughts of thinking, or the fear, or FLAMO, the fear of missing out. So kudos to her. So back to the book. Okay. Needless to say, we will be the ones to go late, be willing to pay an extra fee for the skip line just to make our grand entrance. There's no need for that. We are all going to be in there at some point together. So what's the use? Okay. But she was the one that saved money. I must say, again, I am very proud on how she conducted her financials since she moved out on her own in her early 20s and appears to still be doing fantastic. Think 10 steps ahead. Don't just think for the moment and forget about it. Always think 10 steps ahead. Don't wait until you are down to your last dollar to use your hand. Also, don't ever spend your last dollar until the next one comes in. Meaning, do not count on expected money until you actually get it in your hand. Oftentimes, we are owed money, or if someone says they are going to give us money, we tend to count that promissory as actual income. No. pretty much like we view a paycheck. However, for the most part, paycheck is guaranteed, okay? As long as we show up for the work, we get a check. This type of thinking causes us to overspend or leave us in debt. So be mindful of your actual income and get a grip on your spending before it's too late. You may have needed someone to tell you that is me. So let me just piggyback on that. If someone owes you money, you might have heard the saying before, don't count the eggs before they hatch. If they owe you money, wait until you actually get the money in your hand. They say they're going to pay you back. Wait until you get the money actually in your hand, because who knows? They may have good intentions on paying you back on a certain date at a certain time. Something may come in and happen and interfere from them being able to live up to that obligation to you. And so before you actually put yourself in a deeper hole, just wait until you get it in your hand. If you had it to lend, you didn't really, need it. So that's why you gave it to lend. So don't count it before it gets into your hand. Make a note of that. Okay? Plan your retirement. You hear it all the time that Social Security may not be available to you by the time you retire. Don't think it's just something they're saying or just to say. Prepare yourself. There are enough warning signs. Take heed. Save $1 today and you will be grateful for it tomorrow. It will all add up and come in handy. You can't ever have too much money or planning strategies. Okay? Now, I'm not going to get into, your employee 401k plan. I have information there. I have worksheets that is here in the book. So it's not just it's just not a book. It's a workbook and a journal all in one. Okay. So you have your monthly budget expense sheets here, a sample budget worksheet so you can fill out for yourself. Also have where you can put down your short-term and long-term goals. And let me just go ahead and do the keys, tips, and tricks. At the end of each of my chapter in my book, I have my keys, tips, and tricks. For the keys, tips, and tricks for chapter number 2, the wake-up call. 1 is to be real with yourself as it relates to your income and expenses and realistic with your goals. Your goals, keyword you, not no one else. Make a note. There's different strokes for different folks. Don't look at anyone else's lifestyle. Surround yourself with positive, like-minded individuals that too have a mindset of wealth. Be careful what you feed yourself. The music that you listen to, the people that you listen to, they can be, worshiping the devil and feeding you with foolishness and want you to fail or come down or get off your focus just because they're not on theirs. Haters comes in many different ways, sizes, colors, different ways. So pay attention, okay? Don't hesitate to say, I don't have it to spend, or don't be afraid to simply say no. When it comes to protecting your financial budget, this is very important. So again, make a note of that. Don't use the term YOLO. Make a note. You only live once, so you just do whatever you want to do for today and forget about tomorrow. They say tomorrow's never promised to you, but don't live like that. How about if you are wake up tomorrow and still living? Then what? You lived yesterday like, oh, you only live once. You spent all your money yesterday. God did wake you up the next day. So now what? Okay. Properly assess your needs versus your wants and make a vision for it. Okay. Now that there was chapter 2, the wake up call of wealth is a mindset. Knowledge is priceless. Okay. Knowledge is the key. Education is an asset and knowledge is the power. That was chapter 2 of Wealth is a Mindset. Make sure you get your copy at Amazon.com or ShynnaKey.com. Again, if you're in the Atlanta area, at the Madu Bookstore in the Greenbrier Mall. I'm Shynna Key, empowering you to build your empire. See, visionary apparel. You can find these visionary apparels and sayings on my website, ShynnaKey.com. And if you go ahead and go on the website and order my shirts or on my book, go ahead and put in a code Blab, and we'll give you a discount on ordering today for joining me on the live reading of Wealth is a Mindset and Q&A. I will go ahead and open up the Q&A. If anyone have any questions about my book, feel free to ask them now. Ask now or forever hold your peace. I encourage you all. I see the viewers here on a call. We are live. Go ahead and ask me the questions. Don't be afraid. If you don't know, if you don't ask, you won't know. So go ahead. While I'm waiting for you guys to kind of get comfortable, warm up, I want to throw out there that Shynna is offering a mindset writing coaching program this month. Go ahead to my website, shynakey.com. That's SHYNNAKEY.com. Go ahead and schedule a consultation. Go ahead and sign up for the coaching program. If you are someone out there that have a mess that would like to turn it into a message, go ahead, get to writing. I wrote my book within 6 months. Let me tell you, if you're dedicated to writing a book, do it. Writing a book for me, it has opened up many other doors. It has allowed me to become a writer for a lot of online publications, been invited to speak at places. So writing a book don't just bring you money, it opens up other doors for you. So I encourage you, go to shynakey.com today. Go ahead, sign up, register for the writing mindset coaching session. There's limited spaces left now, so go ahead, make sure you do that today, and encourage you to write right away. Finish it, complete that goal. 2016 is right around the corner. So until next time, make sure you connect with me on my public figure page, Facebook, Shynna, Twitter, Instagram. Connect with me. Make sure you go on my website. Also, sign up for my knowledge newsletters and events. I am having a book signing October 10th from 2 to 5 at the Madu Bookstore here in Atlanta, Georgia at the Greenbrier Mall. There's going to be other spots coming up soon. So make sure you sign up for my newsletter so you can stay in tune and you can catch all the events. Also save the date for September 26th. I will be doing a panel. I will come back on later to share that information with you. So save those dates there if you want to see me live on September 26th and October 10th. Those are the 2 dates coming up soon. So until next time, peace, love, and blessings. Shynna, always empowering you to build your empire. Thank you for joining me. You guys have a phenomenal rest of your afternoon. Peace.